Weedon Island Preserve in mid-Pinellas County is an expansive natural area of well over 3,000 acres, mostly located along the shoreline of Tampa Bay. Native Americans occupied this site thousands of years ago, leaving many traces of their presence, including this dugout canoe excavated in 2011 and estimated to be 1,100 years old. Acquired by the state of Florida in 1974, today the preserve protects this wide diversity of natural and cultural resources for current and future generations. Plans for an education center on the site to interpret the natural, cultural, and archaeological history of the preserve for the public began in the 1990s, and with much collaboration between government, private, and Native American partners, a location was selected. Ground was broken with replica tools symbolic of those that would have been used by the native inhabitants. Construction began and was completed. And the Weedon Island Preserve Cultural and Natural History Center was then dedicated and opened to the public in November of 2002. And for all the years since, the center has been home to exhibits, has hosted many special events, lectures, and displays consistent with its mission to empower citizens to make informed decisions about resources through programs that interpret the natural, cultural, and archaeological history of the preserve in order to demonstrate how the environment and people support and shape each other. On February 16, 2013, the Friends of Weedon Island, a citizen-based not-for-profit organization chartered in 1991 to advocate for the preserve, invited the public to a 10th anniversary birthday party for the center. Lindsay Cross, president of the Friends of Weedon Island, introduced commemoration comments made by guests.
Welcome to the Weedon Island Cultural and Natural History Center. And thank you so much for being here to celebrate our 10th anniversary. My name is Lindsay Cross. I'm the current president of the Friends of Weedon Island, and it's really an honor for us to be here with all of you to celebrate this place that we love so much. So I'd like to welcome Barbara Sheen Todd up to the podium. Barbara Sheen Todd is a former county commissioner and chairwoman, also a past president of the Friends and a longtime member and supporter, was very instrumental in this center being developed and the beautiful place that we're enjoying today. So Barbara Sheen Todd, if you'll come up.
Thank you, Lindsay. Oh, it's wonderful to be here today and to see all that has happened, to realize the dream that all of us shared together to protect this beautiful island and make it a place for our children and our grandchildren, that it's actually real. At this time, I'm going to recognize a few people. Well, every one of you is important. We have Terry Krasner here. I think she's still here. There she is. She's on our school board. And we have several very important people besides our wonderful current president. Some of our past presidents, my colleagues in crime. Connie Cohn. Connie was a former, she was one of the co-founders of our Weedon Island Friends and was a city councilwoman. She was very involved getting St. Petersburg to participate in our coalition. And then we have Tom Muntz, who's a former past president. And Fletcher Dunn. There he is. But the one person who is not here that we all loved and respected and who was a very dynamic leader was our friend Bob Kirstein. And as you all know, we lost him recently. And I'd like for us to just take a minute of silence to recognize the love that we had for him and our respect. And Bob, we will always remember you and appreciate you for your touch on this group and on what we are doing. I remember, as many of you have done, reading things about people who have been told that we've been told that they gave great speeches or presentations, and there was a presentation that was attributed to Chief Seattle from the state of Washington. And as I went online and checked Snopes, I found out that the words that were attributed to him really were written by a screenwriter for a movie called Ecology back in 1972. But I still think some of those words impact the reason that so many of us got involved in the Weedon Island cause. I'll just share a few of them with you. This we know: the earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. This we know. All things are connected like the blood which unites one family. All things are connected. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. And whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. And I think that's something that those of you who are here and those who were in the original group which began our Friends of Weedon Island knew, because the people of Pinellas County, no matter what's going on, they really do care about their environment. They care about the legacy that they're going to leave for their children and for their grandchildren, and that's why the parks and the preserves are so important to us. And that's why so many people, so many neighborhoods, so many organizations, and so many levels of government decided to cooperate and join their hands to make this Weedon Island such a special place for all of us. And most of you know that this was an effort that began over 25 years ago. It began with a vision that Weedon Island should not continue to be the place where people could come in and destroy the Indian mounds or some of the memories that were laid for us thousands of years ago by Native Americans. Our archaeologists that joined us recognized that. Some of the things that came from here are in the Smithsonian. So this is a very, very precious place. And I personally am so grateful to each and every one of you for what you've done to keep it that way. My hope is that the day will come in the very near future when Weedon Island Preserve will be open every day, so that our children and we and our friends and our family can continue to enjoy and appreciate this place. I'm very honored that you invited me to be here, Lindsay. I've heard, before Bob passed, he couldn't say enough wonderful things about you, how much he loved you and respected you. And though I don't know you as well as I would like to know you and hope to know you, I share his feelings. You're a wonderful leader, and we appreciate you so much. I have the opportunity now, I understand, of introducing some of your other presenters. And I believe that my old buddy is here. Who am I to present next now? Yes. Jake Stowers. Jake was the main director of the Department of Environmental Management, and a wonderful leader in environmental causes. Jake.
Thanks, Barbara. It is nice to see everyone out here, and it's nice to see and realize this is still here. The vision that we all had was for it to go on and on and on. So as I get older, and Barbara doesn't, but some of us get older, we see these things, and it's nice to come back and see them. But Lindsay asked me, I was here about 3 years ago, I think it was, to go fishing, and I walked the boardwalk, but I didn't come through the facility again. What she asked me to do, or what I mentioned I would like to do, is Barbara touched on all the ramifications and the huge amount of community support, a lot of citizen support to make this happen in the long run. Barbara was the spirit, Connie was, in making it happen. But after it was all brought together, Wayne Swiftmud, St. Pete, Pinellas County, I remember when Keith was here, he used to be the park ranger out here with the park system. We'd come out and go, we're going to probably try to take this. Well, I don't know about that. He's running around protecting it as a single entity. trying to keep pot hunters out and all the other stuff that go on. What really became very interesting, I think, and might have made it all come together, is the county, fortunately, with citizen support, has a product called Penny for Pinellas. And in the Penny for Pinellas, I might have been instrumental, Barbara might have been instrumental, but there was always money set aside for buying land. And so it was an infrastructure penny, and you could buy the land and you could build something with it, but you couldn't manage it. But Baker's Insurance Company, someone bought a big chunk up here to put high-rises on it. And St. Pete, quite frankly, was looking at the rezoning, not in a totally negative manner. I'm nothing against St. Pete, but tax dollars are important. Today, they might like to have a lot of condos sitting there that are worth a lot of money. But that said, that I think spurred more interest on we've got to set it aside. State of Florida has historically not had huge dollars for the park system. Keith can attest to that. He probably wouldn't publicly, but and we fortunately had a very fine park system, preserve system. So the county, with Barbara's push, we said, let's get it, let's buy it. Then let's come together and set up a management plan where the county actually took it over. If we're going to put money in, and we would have, we obviously put a lot of money in, particularly in the management, we like to be in charge, bottom line. So we did with everyone else's help, and we came in and the county bought it. As we moved forward with that, we still had more Penny for Pinellas, and hopefully you all are aware of the Brooker Creek Preserve as well up in North County. There's 8,000 acres up there with an education center and a museum and historic area. Barbara's here from up there. And so you look at these, and one of the things that the board has was, let's build a center where we can educate and where we can, what we really wanted for the school board to send every class at least one time or twice during the curriculum year, or over there 12 years, to come to these places and study what they needed to study. Pinellas County, has very good capability when it comes to environmental issues. A lot of scientists, et cetera, et cetera. Weedon Island was unique, and that's what Lindsay was asking me to chat about. You had something here, as Barbara mentioned, that was, yes, we've got the phenomenal ecology and all the marine science, you know, they've got all that. And we can handle that. Want me to interpret? We can interpret it. The Native American issue became a little bit different. It's a whole nother world when you start doing that. And the board decided early on, and Sheila and I went to Washington, I don't know how many times, but we literally said, before we do anything regarding a center or the interpretive process, let's make sure that Native Americans would also want to be here and study their ancient history. To do that, and the way the system worked, if I remember, and this has been a while, because it took us, I was just asking Barbara, I'll bet it took 5 years before we ever got to the point of designing, actually building the building and thinking about really going to construction and spending the money. Just learning the system, particularly the Native American system, and how you had to react and what you needed to do. And we needed them as partners. And so we had numerous trips to Washington. We had trips to the Seminole Museum down south. We got very involved with the Native American culture and what you had to do. The Weedon Island culture, or nation, whatever it might be, is, and I mean, extinct may not be the right word, but that's what it is. There's probably, Phyllis probably knows a real word for that. But when that occurs, you need to talk with the nations that are there now. So we had the Seminole, Miccosukee, and I think the Porcupine of the Creek are the three Native American people in Florida. The Seminoles fortunately stepped up to the plate and said, we'll be glad to help you. We will come on board, we will work with you. And we said, fine, you're in charge of that side in doing that, because you didn't want, or at least I didn't want, and all of us didn't want to have a place where Native Americans did not feel secure, because it's their history. We're actually looking at their history, if you would, because they're the ones that were here first. Huge. And so when you started doing that, we went to the Smithsonian. The poster, which I think is, I don't know where it is, but there's a neat poster, all the pottery. I remember walking in the shelves because it wasn't displayed up there, so we had to get permission to go back inside. At the time we were doing this, the Museum of the American Indian was being designed. and brought to table and being funded. I don't know if y'all know this, but it was totally paid for when it was built. Unusual for projects, but it was. But we met with the designer of that, and we just took a lot of information. We then set up a team locally with Native Americans, people of interest around, obviously, county staff, and we brought in, which was probably neat, and I don't remember his name, we brought in a design architect from Atlanta, I think he was, a Native American, and he assisted in coming up with how the building should look to display and meet Native American requirements, but also give an architectural theme, if you would, to the site just by looking at it, like the wall when you walk in. The Weedon culture, that's the pottery signs that is their symbol, for lack of a better term. I'm a biologist, not an archaeologist. So, but that's something. So that became important. Let's figure out how we do it. The roof is curved for bird feathers. The roseate spoonbill feather was picked up when we were walking around here with the Seminole, what is it, medicine man, I guess, the medicine man that picked the site. They actually came out and picked this spot to put the building in. So it was a process that was much, much different than typically a government process is. I mean, yes, we finally got down to building construction, and Hoffman helped us with that, but the system of coming up with it was very important. And that, to me, says an awful lot, about the community of being supportive, but about the board for stepping up to the plate with that and not being totally in control. It's a gorgeous site. It's absolutely stunning. And the ecology is stunning, but we knew how to do that part. That was easy for us. The Interpretive Center, although I haven't been in it in a few years, I'm going to go in it today when I'm here, is important. I wish that we had the type of economy that every fourth grader and eighth grader or ninth grader or something could come out here and study the biology side as well as the archaeology side. And over the years, other things have been discovered here, like the boat. Dugout canoe was found. So it is a huge site. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen the real mounds here. I don't know if anyone gets to go over there at all, but the real mounds are absolutely impressive. But it's a site, it was a different process, and I think it well represents that story of where you can come together and do it right and create a lasting monument that recognizes the Native Americans, which are critically important, the namesake, as well as the ecology and the other sites here that are important. Has a huge history, in and out. I mean, it's been theaters, it's been an airline. I mean, if you really haven't learned about Weedon Island, most of you probably have, but if you haven't, it's an unbelievable story on the whole site. It really is, just the whole story. The more I got into it, I'm going, wait a second, what's going on here? This place has had movies and national airlines. I mean, it's really a very neat place. A lot of that was destroyed, as Barbara said, over the years because it wasn't looked after. It wasn't taken care of, which is why the board, at the community support, stepped up very quickly and took care of it. But I welcome you here. I'm hoping that maybe 10 years from now I could be back. Maybe 10 years now, I don't know about that. But I do think it's good. I like to see everyone out, keeps the community support going. It's really a significant site, and I know it's one of those that I'm proud of, and I know my staff is very proud of, the ones that worked through it as well as those. In fact, I thought Will might be here. He retired yesterday. Will Davis did. So anyhow, I appreciate it. Thank you. And am I supposed to introduce anybody? Phyllis. Phyllis is supposed to come up and chat with you some. I didn't know. I didn't remember. Thanks a lot.
Oh, a few days ago I was looking through some old files, and I actually found one of the original invitations for sowing the seeds of an honored landscape when it was opened on November the 2nd in 2002. Jake has related a lot of the things that led up to the opening of the building. I I want to mention that opening was actually a very soft opening, because even though we had all this pageantry and we had all the officials, the upstairs wasn't finished. The second floor was only a shell. So we actually opened the very end of December in 2002, very quietly. But those are many, many great memories. Ken Ryan was the person that actually selected the place. And he had gone out, we all were walking out in all the underbrush and everything, and he came upon this cabbage palm. And he looked up and he says, "This is the spot. The leaves are pointing in the 4 directions." And that's so important to Native American belief system. And that's something that was actually incorporated into this building too, because you can look out in all 4 directions. So it was a lot of wonderful planning, the cultural value workshops, telling us what's good to put in the building and what's not. There was just a lot of input from many, many groups, the environmentalists, the Friends of Weedon Island, and also especially the Native Americans. So it's a very, very special place. And I have many, many memories here, having been here all of those 10 years up to December when I retired. But I think that of all those memories, what I remember also most is the people that gave so much of their time and efforts here. The volunteers, both past and present. Many of them are here today. The people that actually gave presentations in this wonderful auditorium. I mean, you don't even need a loud, it echoes beautifully. The many different people that brought other organizations that brought programs here and helped, provide a lot of the programs through the facility. And I also remember the very dedicated and devoted staff that, past staff, I have to say, that had put a lot of their heart into this place. It is definitely a very special building. And although it's wonderful to remember the past, I think it's probably more important now that we look to the future. And one of the great things that are happening now are many partners are coming together to make this facility come alive. And we have the Florida Public Archaeology Network that's going to come on soon and have an office here, as well as the Florida Fish and Wildlife, and many, the Extension Service. There's just a lot of partners. And the more people we can bring into the facility, it's certainly the more days we can have it open, which would be wonderful. So I think this place is an awesome place. One of the things I had meant to mention was, I remember before they built the building, they took everybody up in a bucket truck. So you get a whole bird's eye view. They were trying to figure out where to place the center. And that was really neat. I mean, you got a really awesome look of the preserve. And one of the big decisions that was made was to put a 3rd floor on this building. And so now everybody gets to go up and gets a bird's eye view of what the preserve looks like. It was really great. And we had to wait 5 years because of that for the exhibits, but they got put in eventually. So anyway, I just want to say that I think this is a great place. It has, the building itself, it has a spiritualness about it for both the culture of the Native Americans, also the preservation, the environment, and also education. And that's the important thing that we need to work towards. So onward and upward. And I look forward to the next 10 years. Thank you.
Well, as Phyllis Kolianis mentioned, she recently retired in December, and the Friends of Weedon Island would like to recognize all of her dedication and hard work here at the Preserve. It really is the place it is because of her. So this is a token from the Friends.
Wow, thank you.
Open it.
Oh, I opened it? Okay, all right. Oh, geez.
This is something that Patty Smoot, our secretary, arranged. So.
Okay, thank you. Oh, that's good tape.
Yeah.
Oh, how pretty. Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for all of our speakers. I'm not going to let you guys go quite yet. We do have a lot of great things the rest of this afternoon. At 11 o'clock, we have 3 different hikes. We have a family hike, a natural history hike, and an ecology hike. Then we'll have some refreshments and cake at noon. Then we'll have those 3 hikes again at 1:30. Throughout the day, we'll be showing some movies back here. We also have arts and crafts, a scavenger hunt in the exhibit, some archaeological resources out in the hall. I also wanted to mention we have just entered into a contract with a local artist named Carrie Jadis. We'll be developing a commemorative painting. Outside, there's one of her paintings from the St. Petersburg Yacht Club as an example of her work. So we'll be commemorating Weedon Island's history and its ecology, and there'll be opportunities if you want to be part of that painting and the memorializing people or just making a donation for that. So I do have a short video that Lou put together from some of the groundbreaking, the construction, and also the opening dedication ceremony that I thought you might like to enjoy. And then after that, please enjoy the rest of the center. And again, thank you for being here on this special day.
Nakra khushpum chicken fry etan. Yulejak. Yato opuskuta yati. Kasan got khokta di. Yulejak lahan kahira ma khadi gate. Ema yastat got pora maligaye. Mam yulejak mai. Yulejak mai sta. Pona yulejak.
Ready now. We'll commence with the groundbreaking. 1, 2, 3. Must have been pretty hard to shovel with this. I'm glad you turned.
That's it, yeah. Hey, Bob, is this like your Xeriscape commercial?
before we cut the ribbon, we're going to have the blessing of the building. One, two, three.
Greetings, sir. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
We are absolutely overjoyed. I can't tell you. As long ago as the 20s, my great-grandfather, Dr. Leslie Weedon, wanted the National Park Service to preserve this beautiful place. And as long ago as the 30s, my great-uncle and aunt and grandfather were talking about the need for a center just like this. So we are so proud of it. Everyone has done a beautiful job. It's terrific, absolutely terrific, yes.
Then it was time for birthday cake, and the public was invited to refreshments and activities to continue the celebration. The center's Connecting People and Place Hall was the setting for a scavenger hunt, where youngsters and adults searched the environmental and archaeological exhibits for clues to answer such challenges as: name 2 animals in Tampa Bay which start out as tiny plankton. Hint, look at the big bubble on the table. Enter the mangrove crawl-through and name 3 animals found in mangroves. Name 2 animals used by Native Americans to make tools. What is being made from the tree trunk in this model? Find and pull out this midden and name 2 things found in a midden. Prizes were awarded for completed scavenger hunt surveys in the form of commemorative pins representing Weedon Island Preserve's aviation and archaeological heritage. There were other arts and crafts activities. Participants tried their hand at making colorful fish prints on paper and t-shirts that they could take home with them. And after a little instruction, others used the coil method of making pottery, a technique often used by Native Americans for thousands of years. Outdoor activities included guided hikes, exploring both the nature and history of Weedon Island Preserve. The interesting educational and fun activities at Weedon Island Preserve go on year-round, including summer camps. And don't forget, there's also the Brooker Creek Preserve Environmental Education Center, open to the public in North Pinellas County, with exhibits about our county's ecosystems, flora and fauna, special programs, nature hikes, and much more, including summer camp. For more information about Weedon Island Preserve, Brooker Creek Preserve, and also our other interesting county destinations like Heritage Village, the Florida Botanical Gardens, and of course our wonderful public park system, please visit us at pinellascounty.org.